What is up, everybody? My name is Andrew, and welcome back to Space Engineers Survival 2025. This is episode number 58, and we are at the Trade HQ after leaving the alien planet last episode, getting aboard the Solar Storm, which was right where we left it, and going to the Trade HQ in hopes of finding some ice. We were unable to find any ice here, unfortunately, because the tanks are mostly empty. I think there was a tiny bit of hydrogen in there. But in this episode, we're going to try to rectify that. What we're going to try to do is convert this base. Well, not really convert it. It's already in a pretty decent state, but we're gonna try and get it to be a proper refueling hub. Now, there's no ice here, but there is ice somewhere close. Yeah, over there, 21 kilometers away, there is ice. So what we want to do in this episode is bring back tons and tons of ice to store on this base here. And we're going to be using the Manta Ray for that. So in this episode, we're going to be converting the Manta Ray to some sort of like hauling ship. Currently, it's got a couple of small cargo containers, I think, but we'd like to get it to be able to store a little bit more. So if I go here and then go here, we can see that it's got a bunch of hydrogen tanks and stuff, which makes sense because it uses hydrogen, but I think it's also got cargo. If I go here, cargo, yeah. And these are smalls, I believe. Yeah, okay, so it's got 6 cargo containers that we can use. And it's also got the railguns, actually, which I think we're gonna remove the railguns and instead put drills, or maybe we'll keep I don't know. So we can do this 2 ways. We can either put a drill on the front of this thing and use it straight, like directly as a driller, or we can use this as a ship that's gonna store a second ship, which we'll have back here, and that ship will be a mining ship. And we'll just go with the mining ship, and then the mining ship will bring the ice, and we'll do trips to and from this. That might actually make more sense to do. So maybe what we'll do is we'll convert this into a big ship, a big hauling ship, and we'll also build a mining ship that we can use in space. But what I also want to do, and this might actually happen next episode if we don't have the time, is I'd like to build a farm on this base as well, because we have lots of seeds on the snowstorm, but it would make a little bit of sense to use some of those seeds here so that we have like a little farm set up, and I think we can do that. But of course, ice comes first, so we're going to start with retrofitting the Manta Ray and building that mining ship. We actually don't need this anymore because I don't think there is any stuff here. So let me go ahead and take that, put that in here, perfect. And yeah, okay, perfect. And actually, I guess technically what we could do is we could put the farm out here if we wanted to. We have plenty of room right here, so we could build quite a large farm on this side. And then if we wanted to connect it to the interior, we could even connect it through this, and that would make a little bit of sense. I think that's not a bad idea. Otherwise, we'd have to kind of find room for it. We'd maybe go down and build it there. I don't know. But anyways, let's get to work, starting with going aboard the Manta Ray here and trying to find out what we're dealing with. So I believe we have our doors right here, and they're already open. Perfect. So if I wanted to convert this into a hauling ship, what I would want to do is probably remove these and instead put 2 more cargos in here. Unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be any room on this ship to put large cargo containers, so we might have to just do a bunch of small cargo containers. And currently it's not bad. Let's see, what could we do? I mean, I could probably throw large cargo containers right here if I wanted to as well. But honestly, it's probably not a bad idea just to do small cargo containers and let it kind of store things that way. So these I'll go ahead and grab, and then these as well. And we'll throw in our large cargo right there. Oh, okay, we have the little bots flying around doing this, the build and repair stuff. What I could do is remove these and put cargo in here also. I think this gives us some perfect room to throw some of these things in here as well. So if I put a large cargo container right there, let me go ahead and put a bunch of this stuff back and grab some stuff here. I can put a large cargo right there, and that's kind of hidden. And then I can do another one even right here. Oops, that's a conveyor. I didn't want to put a conveyor there. I wanted to put a cargo container. Okay, perfect. So that's giving us a couple extra cargo containers that we can use. And then right here, I believe we had this way because we needed to pressurize it. What I think I'm gonna do actually here is I'm gonna leave this empty space, and we're gonna use instead one of these blocks over here. So I'm gonna go for my light armor one. Oh, am I having that bug again where it removes what I had selected? That was weird. Okay, I'll put that right there. I'll put that right there, and maybe I'll put another one right here. Although if I'm putting another one right here, I'll want to go with one of these right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and build those up. There's 1, there's 2, and here's our 3rd one here real quick. And so now we have a lot more cargo containers here. If I look at just cargo, we can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 right there. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 small cargo containers, which is gonna give us a lot of cargo storage. I think probably that's more than we need. So what I'm gonna do is let's go in here and let's rename them all to be the Manta Ray cargo. I don't know why we have this set to cargo connector. Let's just change these to connector so they don't get pulled up in the cargo. All right, perfect. So now these are all of our Manta Ray cargoes here that we can use to store ice and such like that. So if I go into here and search for my O2 H2s, we only have 4 O2 H2s. How many hydrogens do we have? We've named all these big ship hydrogen tank. Let's rename all these to Manta Ray. Oh, we ran out of energy. Okay, let's go here real quick. We do have a med bay right here, luckily. Perfect. And we're gonna run out of food too pretty soon, so let's grab a little bit of that as well while we're here. We don't actually have anything on us, so maybe we'll have to go grab something in a second. But I think this is pretty good. This is looking pretty decent. We have lots of cargo. We have pretty much everything that we need. We have some lockers even. Ooh, we've got weapons. Okay. In fact, I'll throw my my stuff in there. But I think in terms of retrofitting this ship, we're looking pretty good. I think this ship is mostly retrofitted, doesn't need much more. We do need to address the front here. And I think we are gonna put back the railguns just in case this thing gets into a little bit of heat. So let's get our light armors there. And I believe these were heavy armors. Yeah, they were. I guess one thing that I'm concerned about is how much hydrogen do you have, my friend? Because you are a hydrogen ship. So if you don't have any hydrogen, we're gonna be in trouble. So let's go over here real quick. You have 0 hydrogen. So we are gonna be in a little bit of trouble unless we turn this to stockpile and we basically drain the snowstorm, which actually might not be a bad idea because we're not planning on using the snowstorm right now. So let me go to my tanks. Let's turn stockpile on, and then let's go to my snowstorm hydrogen tanks. We're gonna go ahead and turn stockpile off. So we should be draining the hydrogen from the snowstorm into this, which makes sense because the snowstorm is dry docked basically. We don't need it to be able to fly right now. And before we run out of food, actually, let me run through here real quick and grab some chili or something, or maybe pellet or mushroom. Oh no, okay, we did have chili, perfect. Okay, let me grab both of those chilies and we're gonna eat one of them. It's gonna give us 30% of our stuff. Okay, we're looking pretty good. Bulletproof glass, we need to fix that. Okay, there's a couple of our hydrogen tanks back. Need a couple of steel plates here. And then we'll help them along with this guy right here. And then I think this might have connected that way. I'm not 100% sure. Oh yeah, it did. Okay, we have a conveyor there and a conveyor there. Okay, let's do that. Conveyor, conveyor. And that's gonna be a turret. Okay, very good, very good. And what are you guys? So you guys are all light armor. It looks like we did have a lot of light armor on the front of this thing, which makes a little bit of sense. I'm gonna go into my G, take these off my hotbar and just get a bunch of steel plates, because in order to repair all these, they just need a bunch of steel plates as well. So we're gonna get those. All right, railgun. Do we have enough stuff to build an entire railgun? That's the question. I believe it connects that way, right? Yeah, it does, perfect. So if we do, we can finish up the Manta Ray and it'll have all of its armaments on it and we'll be able to go out with that setup. Ooh, what happened here? Looks like we took some damage to the decoys, which is good. They did what they were supposed to do. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of broken stuff on this. It's fine. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna detach the Manta Ray here and I'm gonna fly it next to the snowstorm there, because currently it's not, the build and repair is only able to reach about half of the ship. It's not able to reach the other half. So actually it was able to reach this half and get the railgun built up, which is nice, but it's not able to reach the other half, basically past this, to get that stuff fixed and built. So we're gonna detach it and move it to the side of the ship, and that should help us out a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that by pressing number 9. That should, nope, it's not number 9. It's this guy. So if I disconnect this one right here, unlock, we should be able to move forward. Let me turn my thrusters on. There we go. Now the thrusters are on. Nope. Okay, our tanks are still on recharge. That's probably the problem. There we go. Okay, now we can move. All right, let's go ahead and move to the side over here. Oh, turn on our dampeners as well. And we're gonna get ourselves in a position where the build and repair system can actually help us out here. So let's move to the side. We're gonna tilt ourselves about like this, and then just kind of sit here. All right, perfect. I think I'm okay with this. So let's let that handle that. This should have enough. Yeah, it's got 3 days of power, so we're good on power. So let's go on to the trade HQ again, and we're gonna start building that mining ship that we want to bring along with us. So the mining ship, I'd like to have a connector on the bottom, I think, to connect to this. I think that's probably easier instead of connecting it on the back. Maybe we'll just do a connector on both sides. I don't know. And then we're gonna probably use ion thrusters, I'm thinking, for that. So Let's do that. And hopefully the Spirit of Le Monde doesn't attack us here, because otherwise we're gonna have a bit of a battle on our hands. But anyways, yeah, let's get started with building that ship, and we're gonna build it right about here. So so let me build up a couple of lights. We do have some lights here, but let me build up the floor here, because I think that's why it looks a little bit dark, because the floor is not built. Oh, and I guess the yeah, I guess the gravity generator doesn't reach very far either. So let me build up a little bit of this floor. Just give me 1 second, and we'll be right back. All right, there we go. See, just like that, it looks a lot brighter now with those built up. I think what I'll do as well is, I think I've also redecided what I want this to look like. I think I'm gonna go for these interior wall, not this one, but the sci-fi one right here. We're gonna go for the nice bottom version of it. Okay, so let me grab a bunch of those. Okay, so those are gonna be all on the sides right here, and then I'm gonna remove this centralized block right here, and we're gonna replace this with the new floor blocks, which I think are gonna look kind of cool. So let's get rid of all these blocks right here. This is gonna take a second, and let's replace these with the new floor blocks that I think are gonna look good. All right, I've added in these floor blocks right here because I think they look really good. These are the new floor blocks as of the, not the Apex update, but the one before that. Oh, I forget what they call it, but these are the new-ish floor blocks, I guess, since the Apex update would be the new stuff. But I think they look a little bit better than just having steel plates or these blocks, sci-fi blocks in here. So we're gonna use them. Also, I really need to get a gravity generator, but I'm having a bit of a battle of capitalism here because the gravity components are very expensive and I could sell them for a lot of money, or I can make my life a little easier and the life of anyone on the station a little easier by adding a second gravity generator over here. So do I do the capitalist thing, which would be sell the gravity components for profit, or do I do the humanitarian thing, which would be building a gravity generator so people don't suffer like I'm suffering every time I walk out of the gravity generator? I think I do the gravity generator, but let me know in the comments what you think. All right, we are building a gravity generator. I'm gonna go ahead and try and build this maybe like here-ish. I don't know, we might eventually move it, but for now it's just gonna be kind of servicing this area that has no gravity generator of its own. I kind of want to put it in there, like in this little nook right there that I created. Let's see if I can get everything. I should be able to because we have ground down plenty of gravity generators on other bases and ships, so we should be good. But the main thing about this is I don't want to make it that big. So let's go ahead and show our gravity range here. Let's show this on HUD. There we go. And we should be able to see the range of this gravity. See, it goes really, really far. And I don't want it to go that far because if we do let it go that far, around over here, we're going to start getting 1.61 gravity, which is not what we want. So let's go ahead and bring these all the way down to like 20 meters. It's going to be really, really short. What I will do though, actually, you know, this is fine. I'm setting it to 0.61 G. So then when it overlaps, it's not much more. I mean, it's 1.2, but it's still not enough to like murder you if you accidentally get into both. So I think that's gonna be okay. Oh, but I definitely do want to reach this area, yeah. There we go, I pulled that one in so that we only have the one here. But then over here we have another one. I think that might be the snowstorm's gravity generator that's affecting that. No, that's not that one, because that's there. So then whose gravity am I getting affected by right there? You know what it probably is, actually? It's probably the gravity generator from this guy, which makes no sense because it shouldn't be that big. Hang on, let me go in here. Yeah, okay, the gravity generator on that is insanely large. So let's go ahead and tweak that a lot. All right, I think this is pretty good. I could probably give it a little bit more on the length there. All right, I'm thinking this is perfect for our gravity generator. It doesn't overlap that much with the snowstorm. It doesn't get this side fully. You know what they need is they need an offset for the gravity generators because I don't think they have one. Because then I would offset this forward so that it only took up the ship. The only other option would be to put the gravity generator centralized, like here or something. And to be honest, that's not a bad idea. I'm famished. I'm gonna go ahead and eat a bit of chili. And then we do need to fill up our stuff in a second. Let me go in here, remove this gravity generator, and we're gonna replace it in that spot that I thought would be pretty good, which is gonna be up top. I think that's a good idea. Okay, there's our gravity generator. Let's do this one more time. We're gonna go ahead and put this on the HUD here, and we're gonna reduce everything. Field width's gonna be 40 like it was before. Field height's gonna be 25, I think is what it was before. And field depth is going to be 60 like it was before. And let's see how that sorts it out. One of these dimensions is really good. This, whatever this dimension is, I think that might be the depth dimension. It's the longest dimension, is really good. You'll go 45. Yeah, okay, I think this is perfect right here. So this means that now when we're on board the ship over here, so before we were losing our gravity right here and it was doing some weird stuff, but that's because that was expanding this whole way. Now it's not. This is good. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's turn off show on HUD, and then we'll turn off the info one. Manta Ray gravity generator, turn off show on HUD, and then in info we'll turn off show gravity range. Perfect. All right, solved. So if any of you guys have that problem as well, just know that you can turn on the gravity range and then show on HUD for the item, and you will be good. So this right here, I think I want to grab this. Let's do a paint like this, and then we're going to run through this and make sure we paint all this right here. And I could use my paint gun for this, but I think this is fine. I would have to use my paint gun for that one if I wanted to. We're only going to go down to there. I think probably eventually we're going to expand this, but for now, I just want to do this little area right here. Perfect. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good. That's not bad at all. Make sure our lights are looking good. All right, perfect. There we go. Now we have a nice strip of area. We don't have to worry about losing our gravity until we're like over there, but that's fine. And we can start building our little ship here now with enough light that we can actually see what's going on, even without our flashlight. And that's what we want. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this as well. That's a random block that I accidentally built. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start with a normal thing like this, like we always do. This is going to be a very similar ship that to the one that we always build. Maybe I'll try to tweak it up a little bit so that we don't end up seeing the same type of ship that we build every single time. So let's go up just a little bit, and then let's start with, I think, our cockpit. I like to start, actually no, let's start with our cargo, because we want this thing to hold a lot of cargo. It's a spacefaring ship, so it makes a lot of sense that we should be able to store a lot of cargo. Now, I am in love with these modular cargo containers, so we're gonna be using them. So we're gonna go modular cargo container, and then I need interior plates. So please give me some interior plates if you can. We're gonna go modular cargo container right there, and we're gonna go modular cargo container right there as well. And we're gonna have those guys help us build it up. Do I want to go 4? That would end up being a pretty thick ship. I don't know if we want it to be that thick. Maybe I'll do it like this. Cargo right there, cargo right there. In the center, we can put something else if we want to. I don't know what, but we could put something. I want to give it multiple connectivity options. So we're going to put a connector on this side. We'll put a connector on this side, and then we'll have a connector on the bottom as well. And actually, that's what we'll put in the center. One of these. I believe has the connector, yeah, perfect. And then the connector that goes on the bottom will allow us to connect on the bottom like that. Now, we're gonna need to worry about a little bit of our ion thrusters. Okay, let's start with a battery right there. We'll throw another battery right here. So that'll be 2 batteries, which is not bad, but we might want more even because this is gonna be an ion ship and it's gonna have a lot of ion thrusters. So batteries are gonna be important. So we'll have the 2 right there. We'll do another one right there and another one right there. So that'll be 4 batteries. And let's start getting some thrusters in here. And I'll get my light on so you guys can see a little bit better as well. Why not? How do we want to set this up? I think what I'll do is an ion thruster up top like that. Another ion thruster right there. And we'll do the same thing facing the front also. Man, it keeps... You see what it's doing? This is something that was happening way earlier in the series as well. I would put a block up and it would like remove my block that I'm trying to build with. And it's kind of annoying. I'll do ion thrusters like this as well. Maybe I'll give this one a little bit of room like that. Or something. I'm gonna do side ion thrusters as well. We'll have one right there. One right there. And then we're gonna need our up and down ion thrusters. For a down one, this makes a little bit of sense. Put one right there. Like that, I guess. I will say it is really nice having the bots build things up, although it does make it a little difficult if I ever want to like change stuff. But I think we're going with like a first, you know, our first instinct is what we're gonna go with. Okay, so we're gonna need steel plates and interior plates. Give me 100 steel plates, give me 100 interior plates, and give me a couple construction components while you're at it. All right, I'm gonna go with some downward facing thrusts right here. So I'll do another forward facing thrust right there maybe. And then a couple downwards. So we'll do one downward right there. We'll throw in an upward and then another downward. And then same over here. I mean, I do like the flush cockpit. The flush cockpit does look really nice. This is gonna be a really weird looking ship. I'm thinking I'm gonna put the flush cockpit right there. That's gonna give me room to put one of these right here. And then on top of that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna want some oxygen tanks in here as well. So let's get some of those. We'll go small oxygen tank right here. Let me see what that message was. New orders received. Okay, well, I don't think we're gonna have any trouble with that. I could almost fit an O2H2, but I don't think I want to. You know what? We are gonna put an O2H2 right here. I think that's not a bad idea. So we have one connector in the back and one O2H2, which is going to allow us to process ice if we need to. And we're gonna have a small oxygen and hydrogen tank. So it's gonna be like that, and then we're gonna have our little oxygen one. And these are literally just, you know, so we don't die. And I think that's gonna be good. Let's go ahead and sit in here for a second, get our stuff back up. But this is gonna be interesting because our cockpit's kind of all the way up at the top, which actually means we probably could have put the oxygen and hydrogen back there. We have a little bit of room back here. We could put some stuff if we want to. Actually, oh, that's a better idea. Let's put the O2H2 generator back there instead of right here. Before I put the O2H2 though, we have a little bit of room down here that I want to use up. I'll put some of those there for now. But then on top of that, I could put some, I think I'm gonna put let's go ahead and stick 2 timer blocks and an event controller down here. And those are gonna be our connector ones. So when we connect, those will be the ones that trigger to allow us to turn off the thrusters and that sort of thing. And then we do have a little bit more room here, so let's put gyro. We'll go ahead and put 3 gyros right here. Actually, take that back. Let's do it like this. We'll put 4 gyros right here. Maybe some facing this way. And then some blocks in here. All right, perfect. Okay, so we have thrusters in every direction. There's up, down, left, right. We have even a couple small left ones. I figure while we're here, I'll go ahead and throw a hydrogen engine in here just in case we end up needing it. So we'll put these here. So just in case we have a hydrogen engine that we can rely on for power if we start running out and we need it. And then the other thing I want to do is somewhere on the side, I'd like to put some ejectors that are going to eject stone for us. And I don't know if there's an easy way to do that. Well, there is actually an easy way to do that. That would be to remove you. To move you back, to move you back 1 block like that. That gives us this area. And then we can T-junction that, we can T-junction this right here. We can do a sorter, and then we can throw out our stone that way. There we go, beautiful. The stone's gonna get ejected and it'll be burned up by this thing, I guess. I don't know. Okay, this is perfect. We like this. Now, is there anything else we need? Oh yeah, the drills would be probably a good thing. So let's get our drills on. We have these tiered drills. I'm not going to use them. We were only using the tiered stuff for the grinding, making it a little bit quicker, and the welding. So we're not going to use them for drilling because that's not the main need that we had. But we do want to be able to cover most of this area. So what I'm going to need to do is probably use a couple of these, the conveyor converters right here. And I will say what's nice about this is that this could be converted very easily into a welding ship also if we just threw on welders on the front, or a grinding ship even as well. Currently it's going to be this drill ship, but we could, if we don't need drilling at some point, we could always convert it later to something else. I think 4 drills like that, and then maybe 1 in the center would be pretty good. Actually, we could just fit the 1 in the center right there because it goes in between those. I think that's going to be pretty good. Now we do have a little bit of area right here that we have to be wary of because it could take a little bit of damage, but I think this is going to be pretty good. Hopefully you don't take damage from you, right? I think that will take damage actually, just looking at it. So what we might do instead is bring it down 1. Yeah, that's going to take damage, unfortunately. Okay, let's undo that one. Let's undo this one as well. I'll put the blocks in this because it was already trying to build those up. If we just rotate that right there, that should work because then we have the connection point up top right there. And we don't need this one. I do feel a little bit like I should have another one up here though. Let's do it like that. I think that's gonna be fine. We have these 2 sideways, so it should look good. And then I think this should give us enough drilling that it'll be relatively speedy.
Energy critical.
Our energy's a little critical, that's fine. Perfect, that's built up. And then right here, maybe I'll throw an ore detector that I can use. And we have this new ore detector actually that does a nice little turny thing, which is cool. Maybe I'll stick it on the back actually, because yeah, I think that'd look cool. Stick it right there. Oh, check that out. That looks cool. Is something like that in there? Oh man, I like that. That's awesome looking. And then maybe it'll come down 1 right here. Boom, boom, like that. Ah! Hop in here real quick. I feel like I could use a couple more hydrogen tanks in here, since we do have a hydrogen engine that we could like pull from in the worst case scenarios. So maybe we want more than one hydrogen tank. And I could probably also use a refill station if we can find one on here. Let me see, refill station. And you put, yeah, you can put them on the small grid, but they only have a large connection there, which makes it a little tough because I don't think there's an easy place to put this if it's only a large connection. All right, just doing a couple final tweaks here to make it look a little bit nicer. Oh no, I can't run anymore. Do I have any food, I wonder? Let me look for food. Yeah, I do have some food. We have a meal pack of food paste, which I'll happily eat. Perfect. And we'll be able to sprint again pretty soon. I'm adding a couple lights because I like being able to see. All right, how are we doing? I've done a little bit of work on this, and this isn't bad. Let me move this around right there, and then get one of these maybe. Turn it around right there, just to kind of fit it in. And I think that's gonna look pretty good. And then maybe I'll do the same thing right there, just to kind of give it a little bit of continuity. And I think that's gonna look pretty good. Now it's currently made of concrete, which is not a good shipbuilding material, by the way. Your ship will have trouble flying, unless it's in space. If it's in space, it's probably fine. But what I'll do as well right here, I want to get a couple spotlights in here because we do have a couple lights everywhere, but we're not too hefty on the spotlights. So let's try and find some room for those. So they do have these really nice little spotlights that you can throw on right there, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. So a little spotlight right there, a little spotlight right there, and I almost want to do the same thing on the bottom here. I guess I can. We do have the room, so we'll do a little spotlight right there and a little spotlight right there. That'll give us most of our spotlight stuff that we need. But then what I want to do, maybe I'll do a spotlight right there and a spotlight right there. I think that's going to look good. And then that's going to give us all of our forward-facing spotlights. We have lights on the back, on the sides. We have no lights on the top, which we definitely could use some. And I think maybe I will throw some in. We'll throw lights in all these empty spots right there. Perfect. So there's lights on the top. We don't have lights on the bottom either. I think we're probably fine for the bottom though. I think that's going to be okay. And then the front has lights too. But maybe I'll toss a light panel in right there. I don't know. I'm gonna toss a nice little LCD right here as well, because if I go into that, I can show the text and images, and then all the way at the bottom, I can select the, which one is it? The no entry one maybe? Nope, that's not the one. Nope, that's not it either. Construction, that's the one I'm looking for. I'll put a little construction thing on it to show it's kind of like a utility bot. And then let's go ahead and paint this thing as well. By the way, most of the ships that we have in the series are named after animals, but we're in space now. What animals are in space? I don't know. Let me know what you want us to name this thing in the comments below and we'll name it. Oxygen's getting a little bit low. We probably need to fill that out soon. I think let's go on to this ship here, and it should have a little bit of oxygen for us. We need to refill our stuff too, our tanks. But this should at least fill our inventory. And then whenever we go and grab some ice, the ship that we have should also refill our stuff for us, since the cockpit's connected. That's why we connect the cockpits for these things. Okay, I think this ship is pretty much done. All we need to do is set up the cockpit and stuff like that. But other than that, it should be good. Let's go ahead and disconnect. And when we're moving, we do get 100% sometimes. Not that often, but yeah, we do get a little bit of 100% every now and then. So we might need one extra battery, I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and remove this guy right here, because we no longer need it. We'll remove this guy as well. I left a little bit of space here in case I want to add something. I'm not sure what we will add, but there is a little bit of space there if we need to. What did it say there just a second ago? Oh, some components will be lost. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and connect this to the Manta Ray here, and we'll set it to charge as well. So this giant ship, which should give us some very nice drilling capabilities, is going to get us lots and lots of ice, and we're gonna be happy with it, I think. So let's go ahead and put it in this position right here. This is why we have so many different connecting options. I think the connector's down here. Yeah, it's all the way in the back. In fact, if it's all the way in the back, we probably should turn it around. Beep, 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 beep. There we go. And for now, I'll just press P to connect since we don't have any other option. Okay, perfect. So this ship should now be charging. No, it's not, because we don't have the connector stuff set up. Give me 1 second. Let me set that stuff up then. All right, it took me a second, but now I have everything configured. So now this ship, you know, lands, it sits nicely. All the stuff turns off when I connect it, and we should be good. All right, let's go on our first ice expedition then, because we have the Manta Ray fully charged and ready to go, and we have the mining ship right here ready to go as well. I think we have everything ready. So let's go inside here. Let's close this. Let's go inside here as well. Actually, I want to bring some food with me because I think we're gonna starve. I don't have any on me here, so let's bring a little bit of food with us. Okay, we have a bunch of kelp crisp actually from the manta ray, from the solar storm. So let's go ahead and grab like 50 of that, and we'll just take that with us to keep us nourished as we go. Okay, let's hop inside the manta ray, and we're gonna head toward the ice area so that we can grab a little bit of ice. All right, manta ray, close this. We don't have a second door, we just have the one. Close this as well. Perfect, we're recharging everything. Let's go ahead and eat a kelp crisp while we're out here. It's only gonna give us 12% fill value, but it's not bad. Could be worse. And let's start heading toward the ice stuff. So the ice stuff is in this direction. And we're still missing a couple blocks actually. You'll see a couple of them from in front of this thing are missing. That's why, no, we are pressurized, but that doesn't change the fact that we are missing a couple blocks. Where's the ice stuff? It's over here. We're gonna give ourselves a nice speed. Luckily, the manta ray goes, you know, pretty darn fast, actually. So let's give it around 200 meters per second. Let's go ahead and hit the dampener button so that they're off, and we should be good to go. Goodbye, Trade HQ. Look how fast, this is nice. The manta ray is quick. Now, the solar storm, on the other hand, is extremely slow, but deadly. The manta ray is quick and deadly, which is why it's a perfect ship for this mission here. We're just about 6 kilometers out. We're getting close very quick, but luckily this thing should be able to slow down pretty quick as well, so I'm not too worried. I'm not sure exactly where the asteroid is that we mentioned that we saw ice on, but I guess it's in this cluster somewhere. I'm just looking around. Could be in the bottom right. We might have to actually search for it a little bit though. Maybe it's on this bigger asteroid. Let's go ahead and turn on our dampeners, and let's look to see if we can find where the ice is itself. So I'm gonna look at these bigger asteroids, see if maybe they're on there, because that would make a little bit more sense. We're gonna go and fly right by them. We do have an ore detector on the smaller ship, which is turned on, so we should be able to see if we do fly past some ice. I see a little bit of the cobalt right there. I believe that's what that blue is right there on the left of the screen. Let's see if we can spot any of the ice though. Maybe it's down toward these asteroids. Let's hop out here real quick. I wanna see, let's hop out this one right here. I wanna see if maybe there's some ice somewhere in here. Let's just get in with our drill and let it scan here for a second. See if maybe there's some ice deep down in here. Ah, yeah, there is. Okay, so the ice is over here. Where is that in relation to our ship? Okay, we can see it from above as well. All right, so we need to turn our ship around. Okay, let's see if we can spot the ice from the ship. Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it. It's really difficult to see just because of how the light is, but there it is. I think this is probably good. We can maybe land a little bit closer. I don't suppose we have enough to build like a spotlight on this thing, do we? No, we don't. Okay, no worries. All right, the ice should be directly under us, somewhere over here. Let's see. Yep, there we go. The ice is literally directly under the ship itself. This ship does have a lot of lights, so once we disconnect here, we should be able to see a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. That's what we're looking for. All right, let's go ahead and fill this thing up with ice. We want to get a full inventory, and it should be able to easily carry a full inventory without problem. So this is going to be dropping out any stone that we have. I wonder how much ice this can actually carry. It should be a lot, because we have 5 modulars on here. And the biggest ship we have, I think, has 6 modulars. So this is rivaling the biggest ship that we have in terms of, you know, being able to carry stuff. And we have plenty of power here as well. Could do with another battery probably, but should be okay. Either way, I'm very excited for our ice woes to finally be over, because for far too long have we been looking for ice. I would like to get so much ice on board the trade HQ that we don't have to worry about it ever again. We can always just come back to the trade HQ, grab more ice, and we'll be good to go. And then also, for building the farm as well, having a bunch of ice is going to be really good, because the farm really does eat a lot of ice. And for the size of the farm that I want to go with, when I was on the alien planet, I was thinking about it, but I knew we weren't going to stay, so I didn't want to do it. But I wanted to build like a big farm, like a proper one, maybe even one with an automatic harvesting mechanism, which you can do, by the way. Automatic harvesting, all you need is a collector on a subgrid, and it'll automatically harvest once something's ready. So I would love to do that. I think that'd be really cool. And so what we're going to be doing, probably in the next episode, is building an automatic farm or some sort of farm. I don't know if I can make it fully automatic, because I don't know if it'll automatically plant crops for you. I think you might have to do that manually, but I could be mistaken. I don't know. How are we doing? Oh, we are full according to this. We're not actually full, but... All right, now we are basically full. We have, I don't know, probably 200,000 ice. Let me think. That's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So that's about 100,000. Then these each have 81. 3, 4. 4 times 81 is going to be 360k. So we probably have 400,000 to 500,000 ice on board right now. Let's go ahead and deposit this. And the way we've parked this, luckily, all we have to do is just go up, and we can deposit right there. Very nice. And so the other option, if we wanted to cut out the middleman, would have been to add a drill directly to the Manta Ray. And I thought about that. And if we had a Prototech drill, like the Snowstorm had originally, I would do that. But for now, it's probably fine. I think this is immediately, let me show everything on board. Now, there is still some stuff on here. Let me go to cargo. And yeah, Manta Ray cargo is what I'm looking for. And we're gonna go ahead and try and deposit all this stuff. I'm fine with this, there being stuff on the O2H generator. Let's go ahead and disconnect there, perfect. And wow, the ship is so nimble as soon as we disconnect. All right, let's get another load of ice. All right, we got another load of stuff. This one I think is a little bit heavier than even the one we just had before. I don't know how much we have, but we'll see in just a second. Although this is processing a lot of the ice as well while it's sitting here. So some of the ice that we deposited is probably already gone and, you know, processed into stuff, which I'm fine with because it's probably lighter as hydrogen/oxygen than it is as ice. Actually, no, not a lot of it's being processed. I'm actually finding it tough to find some space for this stuff. I am finding some space, but it looks like these small cargoes are a lot smaller than I had thought they were, just because they can only carry 127,000 of this ice. So I had thought that we'd be able to get by with just a bunch of small cargoes, and we do certainly still have a lot of space on board, but it looks like we might still need even more. So, I mean, we have a lot of ice, like 127. We probably have some O2H2 generators that are at work as well. If I look at this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 O2H2 generators that actually 5 O2H2 generators that are at work. This one's not at work. I wonder why. Yeah, I don't know why that one's not at work, but whatever. Okay, let's do another load of this stuff. We are starting to run a little bit low on the ice that's left over. We might be able to get all this ice in this last trip here. Okay, we're getting down to the scraps here where a lot of it's mixed in with the stone, and that's why we have the stone ejectors, which are hard at work right now. But we're gonna start running out of ice here soon. Luckily, it looks like I've got at least another full load here. Let me see if there's any down here. There might be a little bit more. Yeah, we do have some more ice down here. Let's grab this stuff. But we're gonna need to find a new ice patch pretty soon. I think this is probably enough ice for a full charge of the solar storm. I'm hoping, at least. Okay, this is saying we have some ice about 80 kilometers that way. So I want to mine through this a little bit to see if there is another patch of ice down there. Let's go ahead and right-click mine. Oh, there's plenty. Wait, no, that might be stone that I'm looking at. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit more ice over here. Actually, doesn't look like it's that much, though. Yeah, that wasn't a lot of ice there. No worries. Okay, let's head back to our ship. We're gonna need to find more ice, but there probably is more among these asteroids somewhere. There's our connection, and let's go into cargo and try and add these wherever we can. Oh no, we don't have a whole lot of space actually. These are the cargo containers that are the small ship that I'm in, and then these are the ones that are on the Manta Ray. So the Manta Ray is almost full, which is fine. Let's go ahead and bring the Manta Ray back. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this though and turn it around so it's not, you know, facing a weird direction. Ow! We managed to smash something. All right, there we go, we're connected. I just wanted to put it this way so it's not, you know, sticking out and maybe gets clipped off if we run into something. This is damaged, we need one thruster component. But other than that, I think the ship is pretty good. Okay, let's go ahead and head out of here. We got about as much ice as we can. We're gonna need to come back here or look for more ice, because I don't know that we got enough ice. We definitely want more than we have there. So let's go back in here, close you. Let's run over here, close you. And then let's get in the cockpit and head back over to the Trade HQ. Head and set our heading here. Trade HQ is right there. I don't think there's anything in the way. So let's go ahead and give ourselves a nice speed of maybe 200 or something like that. And let's set off in this direction. It'll take us a second to get there, but that's okay. We've got time. And let's head off over there. And while we're going, actually, I do want to jump in here and make sure that I eat a little snack. Otherwise, we're going to start getting a little hungry. There we go. And we're well on our way. I'll see you guys in just a moment when we get back to the Trade HQ. All right, here we are. Let's go ahead and turn ourselves around, and we should have enough room to connect with that left or right side. We'll probably go for the right side one. The right side connector on the back of the ship here. Ready to connect. Yes, perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and lock that one, and we should be good. All right, this ship is going to be probably recharging. I don't know, but regardless, what we want to do is we want to take the ice off of this thing. What just happened to me? Why am I taking... Oh, my helmet's off. Oops. This is not a good thing to do. But yeah, we want to take the ice from there and start processing it on here. Now, I don't think we have a lot of processing capabilities on this base, so let's go in here real quick. Close that. Give it a second. Then go in here, and we should have oxygen in here. Yes, perfect. But I don't think we have a lot of processing capability on here, so it might not be a bad idea to create that. Oh, hi. Forgot there are people in here. Yeah, people just chilling. Actually, we do have some facilities, but they're in here. Oh, and I forgot this is not pressurized. Why is this not pressurized? I feel like it should be. Oh, that's why. But our O2 H2 generators in here are hard at work. They're creating stuff, and that stuff's going to be going into probably the ships first. Go ahead and set these guys to stockpile on as well, so they start getting a little bit of hydrogen. I'm pretty sure they just stole back all of the hydrogen from the Manta Ray, which is why they're up at 31% now. But it's slowly charging using the stuff from here, so I think that's okay. All right, we have ice. We need more. We need to find more. I think what we're probably gonna do... Oh, look, these guys have rooms. Sorry to barge into your room, by the way. Oh, what's doing so much clang up there, by the way? Do you hear that? Something up there is doing something. Oh. Oh, that's why. Why? Wait, why is it doing that? There we go. Okay, now it should be fine. Yeah, okay, it should be fine. Because what was happening was the thrusters were trying to keep it in position, and this was trying to keep it in position as well, and they were kind of like conflicting or something like that. But now that the thrusters are off, we should be good. Okay, I think this is probably where we're gonna end up ending this episode. We have unknown signals there. I could always go after that for some grain. It might not be a bad idea. But next episode, we're gonna be using some of that ice that we collected in this episode, and we're going to be creating a farm with it. And I think we're gonna put the farm right here. This makes a little bit of sense, having the farm go into here, and then we can probably use that door that goes nowhere over there to connect into the farm. And I think having a door on the outside right here that goes in, and then also having a door over there, will allow us to do it pretty well. And it's gonna end up being a pretty large farm. I think we might go by like one farm right here, one farm right there, all the way to the end, and then one walking space, and then maybe same thing over there. And then maybe we'll have like a little crane that comes through and harvests them or something, or maybe we'll have a wheeled vehicle. I'm not sure. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be interesting. And we might also have to go for another ice expedition. That might be out of ice, but maybe I'll get the radio spectrometry mod. That's a mod that I have that I've seen before, and it's one that makes it a little easier to see where ores are when you look at an asteroid. So you can kind of look at an asteroid from far, and you'll get like a little reading on a monitor, and it'll kind of give you hints at what ores are there, which can be helpful for, you know, scouting them out. But anyways, yeah, that's gonna be the end of this one. I really hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of base building, a little bit of ship building, and a little bit of ice gathering. If you did enjoy it, please go ahead and drop a like. If you didn't, drop a dislike. If you'd like to have any suggestions or anything like that, please put them in the comments section below. If you're not subscribed by episode number 58 of this series, then I would urge you to take a look at the button and maybe just study it for a little bit. See what makes it tick. I don't know. And then if you feel like it, you could click that button if you want to as well. If you'd like to become a YouTube member or a Patreon, there are links below in the description. You can get your name in the end credits right here. You can get early access to videos, and for some of the tiers, you can get a shout out at the end of the video. So the people we're gonna shout out in this video are WTC 2014, Colin Graves, and Relos. Thank you very much for your support, and thank you everyone who's watching these for your support as well. And with that, I will see you all in the next episode of Space Engineers Survival.